amaze the world.
Welcome, everyone, to Oakford, Pennsylvania, the site of this year's National Open Cup final between the Greek Americans of Northern California and the Bavarian Soccer Club from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. A pleasant good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's soccer coverage here on Prime Network. Along with Wendy Gebauer, former member of the women's national soccer team, I'm John Paul Della Camera. Thanks for joining us today. We've got a championship matchup for you today, and even though it's not a World Cup or a college championship or even a pro championship, Wendy, there must be butterflies at everyone's stomach as they get ready for a final match.
Oh, I'm sure there is. Actually, they've spent countless hours training for this, and this is it. There's no time for them to let down now.
How do teams that haven't seen much of each other prepare for something like this? They're from different parts of the country.
Although they won't have extensive scouting reports, I think what each player needs to do is find out what their individual matchup will be and attack that, and then hopefully everything will come together for the team.
It might be a real test of endurance today. Temperatures are very high as we get ready for kickoff. We'll come back with the starting lineups for the National Open Cup final from Oakford, Pennsylvania in just a moment. Today's live and uninterrupted World Series of Soccer game, the U.S. Open Cup, is proudly presented to you in part by Bounty, the quicker, thicker picker-upper. By American Airlines, something special in the air. By Adidas, that Adidas soccer isn't coming to America, it's already here. By JVC, the inventor of VHS. And by Toys R Us, the world's biggest toy store.
I've stopped balls from the best players in the world. But in my 20 years in goal, I've never seen a ball do this. This shoe sucks.
Are you colder than I am? How is that?
Wait on me.
Hey, heads up, look out!
Wait a minute. Can you see anything yet?
Just a second, settle down. He's opening the refrigerator.
Trust me, it's not a store brand.
I can't see through you.
Would you move over, please? Wait a minute. It's...
You guys, definitely second.
For 1 month every 4 years, soccer is not just a game. It's the World Cup. Brought to you by Budweiser, official beer of World Cup '94.
So, does it ever get any easier?
I don't think it's supposed to. It's a sophisticated flight simulator. But around here, we call it the box. Even though it doesn't fly, it's sure going to test how well you can. At American, we come here twice a year to get checked out. You know, I don't know of another airline that puts more emphasis on training.
See you in 6 months.
Oh, I'll be back. But if you happen to be sitting behind me,
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
I bet you'll agree.
Welcome you aboard American Airlines.
It's worth it.
Our flight this morning should be a smooth one.
Welcome back, everyone, to Prime Soccer's coverage of the National Open Cup final. The Greek Americans taking on the Bavarian Soccer Club. Time to check out those starting lineups, and we'll look at the Greek Americans first. Starting in goal, Aram Kardzer, who played on a championship team at the University of San Francisco. In the midfield, look for some key players like Derek Van Reenen and Mark Semioli, 2 guys with a lot of experience. And up top, Justin Wall, expected to be one of the providers. On the Bavarian Soccer Club side, Jim Marshall gets the starting goal. Plenty of experience in front of him as Tim Aliotta will sweep. The name Bob Gansler should be familiar. His father coached the 1990 U.S. World Cup team. Some of the other players to look for. the number 8 player, John Shapansky, a game breaker type. So is number 17, Jim Klopp. And Dan Stebbins, the former Notre Dame captain, is a good target player for the Bavarian side. And they are coached by Brian Tompkins. We'll come back for the kickoff of this U.S. Open Cup final from Oakwood, Pennsylvania in just a moment. Today's commercial-free soccer game, the U.S. Open Cup final, is proudly presented to you in part by Sunny Delight, the good stuff kids go for. By Budweiser, fresh, pure, and natural, proud to be your bud. By Wonder, helping build strong bodies. By GM Pontiac, the GM MasterCard is a proud sponsor of the 1994 U.S. World Cup team. And by Transitions Covered Lenses, plastic makes them light, light makes them dark.
The day before our big trip, Frank announced we had to stay at hotel chains.
Are you serious, Frank?
Absolutely not, Frank.
No way, Frank. We expected boring cookie-cutter hotels courtesy of Frank's new budget. But ITT Sheraton was no ordinary hotel chain. But we decided not to tell Frank that.
It's grueling, Frank.
It's a tough job, Frank, but somebody's got to do it.
ITT Sheraton. Our world revolves around you.
They don't play kick the can like you used to. They don't dress the same way. They learned to read 3 years before you did. They've never owned a record. So why are you taking pictures of them with the same old film? Try Fujicolor Super G film. Because your pictures should be nostalgic. Your film shouldn't.
My grandfather was already an old man the first time I went fishing with him. My dad whispered, "Watch him cast." And I watched that line go out like a soaring bird. Where'd he learn to do that, I asked. From his father, my dad said. And from Field and Stream. And so it's been since 1895, when Field and Stream was first published.
And now you can continue the tradition with this special TV offer. Call now and get 15 issues of the best in hunting, fishing, and outdoor recreation. Plus special news specifically for your area, all for this great price. Order now and you'll also get this great-looking heavy-duty Field and Stream field bag.
Just the other day, I took my boy fishing for the first time.
Call this number now for a great price on Field and Stream. And get this roomy, sturdy field bag free with your paid subscription. Call now.
And we're set to play. Referee for today, Nick Sismanditis. The linesmen are Robert Shaker and Greg Barkey. And your fourth official is Nate Clement. We're underway. In the red uniforms are the Greek Americans, the Bavarian Soccer Club in the blue and white. Ball is played long up the far side. It's cleared back towards the halfway line. This is Van Riemen, number 4 for the Greek Americans, formerly with the San Francisco Bay Blackhawks, as there are several of the Greek American players taken back by the Bavarians. Hospital wears number 14, being chased and was fouled. Free kick coming up. Humid field conditions today. The Greek Americans, the older team, that may wear on them, but it's still very early. We've just started here. Forecast calling for potential rain. Bob Gansler, the son of, clearing it up the right side. Looking forward is Sapansky. Sapansky got some help from Klopp. Sapansky back to the halfway line where it's blocked off a teammate. Both teams like to play ball possession soccer. All the way back toward this near side where it will go out of play. Throw in by Elbers. Inside the 18. Looking to cross it. 13 is Delaney. Being bothered, and now it's picked up by the Bavarians, and they clear it out of play. What can you tell us today, Wendy, about the field conditions? It's a small stadium, but it's a pretty wide field.
Actually, we walked across it on the way in, and it seems to be a little bit bumpy, so I think it might take a little bit of time for the players to adjust to that.
Scoreless in the opening moments of play, 1:40, according to our clock. Right side of the field is where the Bavarians will try to work it up. the strength of the Bavarian side is in their interior midfield. We'll see if that holds true today. Paul Bravo, one of those players on the opposite side that will try to defend against that. On the right side, it's cleared on the far wing, played inside the 18, and then shot wide of goal. And apparently that one was deflected. So there'll be a corner kick coming up in the first one of this game. Peter Schweiner. Or are they going to give it a throw on that far side? Schweiner puts it down. They go short with it. Played back out. Schweiner with a left footer. Miskicked, and now it's banged out by the sweeper, Odie from Nigeria. And now it goes out of play. It's still early in the game, Wendy, but what can you tell us about formations and styles of these two teams?
It looks like a little bit, everybody is a little bit nervous still, trying to get used to the surface still, and I think it's going to take a few minutes for them to settle into their game.
Headed up towards the halfway line. Here's a chance on the attack. It was put in a space, but then cut off at the back. A nice job by the Bavarians who take it out. That's Alioto. All kinds of experience. A twin brother of his played also with Tim Alioto. Into the middle it goes. Haspel is fouled. Free kick coming up. All set for it. Bavarians putting in play. Schweiner looking. Goalkeeper came out and deflected it out of the box. Settled in the left corner. And then blasted up by McNevin. Stays in play on the far side for Bavarians. Still scoreless. 3.5 plus gone in the first half of play. On the left side, it's Todd Brockman looking to cross it. It's cleared out, but not out of danger yet until Van Reenen blasts it away. And maybe some of those nerves, Wendy, are going by because that time it was a good attack for the Greek Americans.
Yeah, it sure was. Actually, the Bavarians need to be careful watching them coming through at the top of the box because that was a real good scoring opportunity there.
Van Reenen with experience. He and Bravo are the centers of that midfield. You've got Elbers and McNiven as well. A lot of these players have played together either in college or at the amateur level. So it does help. Coach Lothar Osiander, who used to coach the U.S. national team and has been our Olympic coach, talks about his team having a lot of cohesion. Several of the players went to Cal Berkeley. Goal kick coming up for Jim Marshall. Headed down, and Bavarians take it back on the left side. It just got by the sweeper, Odier. And as he tackles for it, he commits the foul. Odier is an interesting story. He is listed at age 38, told by some close to the scene that he might be a bit older than that. Played for the Nigerian Olympic team. Ready for the throw-in, Bavarians. We're in the 5th minute of play. On the left side, looking to cross it. And it was wide open in front, but no one was there to settle it. The cross came away from Shapansky. And out of play it goes on the far side. A little bit over 5 minutes gone in the first half of play. A scoreless match between the Bavarian Soccer Club in blue and white and the Greek Americans in the red uniforms. They have won this before. Got to go back to 1985 for that result. Bavarians have never done it. But that doesn't mean much when you get to this level. A lot of the players, of course, have changed. This is a very small field, stands-wise. It's the home of the German-Hungarian team that lost last year in the finals. Werner Fricker has his club based here. He's the former president of the United States Soccer. On the left side, now it's the Greek Americans trying to work it through the left. Van Reenen was solid in that. Taken back by Alioto. To the right side, it's Gansler. Has to be the biggest player back there for his side. Maybe for both sides.
Yes, Donnie, you gotta come to me.
Going to be knocked away for the moment, and Alioto reacts very quickly. All the way back at the other end. Settled for the moment. That was Zace. And it's intercepted by Van Reenen. Touch pass back to Van Reenen, avoiding Gansler's tackle. On the left side it goes. Brockman again. Looking at cross better this time, and it missed 2 players. Alioto has done a nice job at sweeper, but on 2 successive plays it is broken down in the box. As this one is cleared out of play, there's only so much Alioto can do. What's happening on those crosses from the left wing?
Actually, they're getting in the box real well on the attack. They're getting numbers. They had 3 guys in there, and thank goodness for the defense there. They were marked up on him. Alioto, he's reading the game well. He stopped a couple through balls, but he really needs to get those crosses stopped from the flanks.
All the way back to the keeper. That is Marshall, settling his players down. Both teams have had to play several games in order to get this far. The last 4 or 5, the more quality games. But they haven't played now at least an official match of this sort of caliber in a few weeks' time. On the right side, Bavarians play it over the halfway line. Into the 8th minute of play. It is scoreless. 7 is Schweinert. Playing it up, that's Klopp. Number 17, chasing after it. Odier knocks it away. Back the other way come the Greek Americans. On the far side, well done, to the right. And then it's misplayed on that hard touch by Elbers. But a quality ball switching fields from the far side to this side. Does either side, Wendy, have any kind of an edge at this point? Almost 8 minutes gone.
I don't think so at this point. It still seems to be pretty even. Both teams are trying to settle it down well in the back and start to play from there. But like we saw there, we were trying to get a little bit of change of the field through the center there. And so we're looking to see some of the styles come out.
Both teams have talked before about a European-type influence, and even though the team is called Greek Americans, it's pretty much a hodgepodge of players from all different ethnic backgrounds. Looking down at the roster, seems like Greeks are in the minority, in fact, of this team. Far side, this one goes out of play. There'll be a throw-in coming up at the far side for Bavarians. 9th minute of play. Scoreless. You're going to hear a lot of noise at this level from field microphones, instructions, etc. That's Odier. Giving it up to Van Riemen. Settle at the halfway line. Pressure put on by Klopp defensively. Trying to settle it, Justin Wall will leave it off for Elbers, number 5. Elbers with a pass. It's read easily by Gansler, and a long clear. Schweinert. Nice job on the chest ball, off the chest trap. Now picked up by Bavarians. Tom Zais, who played at UConn, switches fields to the right. Bavarians looking for a crack at goal. Greek Americans have been at the other end more often. And on the far sideline, that goes out again. A throw in for Bavarians in the 10th minute of play. It is still scoreless. Stebbins, the former Notre Dame captain, giving it up on the short pass. Chipped inside the 18. Bad clear. Here's Zais. Lobbing it inside, tipped over the bar. The best chance came from Zais. And apparently, Wendy, it was not tipped. I thought the goalkeeper got a finger to that, but he did not.
Yeah, it was a great scoring chance there. We need to have better clears out of the back there. That ball was headed right down to the attacker's foot, and he had a great shot. The ball is laid right down there at his foot. It was not a good clear there, and he just taps it over, sees the keeper off of his line, and he just got lucky there.
Tom Zais from UConn. As you see it just over the bar. Looked like when we saw it live that the goalkeeper did touch it. Back on live action in the 11th minute. Still scoreless. Bavarians in white and blue. Greek Americans in red. All the way back, Derek Van Riemen settling it for Odier. Odier blasting it long. Too long. Alioto has a better read at that, but he loses to Brockman. There's another cross, but that's too far. Brockman, though, shows a lot of speed in the left wing, and there's got to be an adjustment made there. He shouldn't be allowed to make all those crosses.
No, actually, he is. He's getting the better of his matchup there. That long ball at first didn't look like it was going to make it through. However, they're playing off his speed because he really did. He beat his defender there and had a cross off.
We're seeing a lot of the attack go through the air. Not necessarily untypical, since coaches have talked about playing it European style, but I wonder if the bumpiness of the field might change a direction or two.
I think so. It is going to change a lot. The ball seems to be really bouncing, trying to get used to the surface still.
In the air to win it was Semioli, number 16, for the Greek Americans. Here's Brockman again. Always a threat on that left side. Todd Brockman playing it into space, knocked away. Schweiner will take it after it was cleared by Mike Rowe. Back for it again, Schweiner. And then it's cleared by Haspel. In the air and badly missing were 2 players, including Klopp, and the foul is going to go the other way, and that's a tough injury from where he landed.
He really got undercut there. Looks like he landed right on his shoulder.
In the 13th minute of play, still scoreless.
So he goes up there and the defender's underneath him, so he comes down hard.
Foul is on McNevin. By the way, we're playing with FIFA rules today. You can make 2 subs only, unless you want to substitute the goalkeeper. That was the new rule brought into this World Cup. If it's tied at the end of 90 minutes of play, you go 2 15-minute overtimes, not sudden death, so another 30 minutes total, and then penalty kicks if we're still tied. Here come the Greek Americans straight down the middle. Brockman in a switch brought it down the center. To the outside, Paul Bravo, who played on a championship team at Santa Clara. Into the middle. Cleared out of the back by Alioto, who's been the busiest defender. Klopp just avoided a tough tackle from Simeoli. ODA will bring it our way. Still scoreless. In the 14th minute of play, it is deflected out. There'll be a throw-in coming up. Elbers on this near side. Bob Gansler playing on the same team where his father played and also coached. Elbers ready for another throw-in. This one is longer. Inside the 18, it's cleared out. Settled. And then cleared over on the far side by Tim Martin, another player with pro experience. McNevin on the left, number 2. Playing it inside for Wall. He went down and then almost got the ball back. Taken away and then cleared upfield by Bavarians. And then it's lost again. McNevin in a battle, winning it. A low pass is cleared out by Haspel. 3 players missed that. A 4th doesn't. The Bavarian Soccer Club switching it all the way to the right side. Stevens will hold it there. Waits for more help. 2 players heading for the box. And out of the 3 or 4 options, he chose the wrong one.
Stefanski really made a nice through ball there, and he was on a break to get the ball back, but it doesn't look like he saw him coming through there. Could have had a good scoring opportunity there.
Stefanski has good speed, good playmaker. We may see a lot of the attack come through that area. Cardzair, 33-year-old goalkeeper, sends this one well over the halfway line. Headed straight up, closer to our broadcast level, but now out of play. In the 15th minute of play, it is still scoreless. Bavarian Soccer Club in the blue and white, and the red and white of the Greek Americans. The coach is Brian Tompkins. In his first year, so he's got a tough act to follow himself for next year. A Londoner, coached also at the University of Wisconsin at Milwaukee, where he still does coach for the last 5 years, and he has coached a lot of these players at the Bavarian youth level. This is a true soccer club. They bring players up from the youth level, so this guy Tompkins has either played with or coached a lot of these guys. Throw in from Elbers, and a foul on Gansler. Free kick coming up from this near side. Bravo will put it in play. The year Santa Clara was a champion, they were co-champs with the University of Virginia in the early 90s. Loose in front. Cleared out, Zeiss in the air, but it's won by Bravo. He won the battle but lost the war. Taken right back. Tim Martin trying to bend it inside. That's cleared out. Both teams are very patient teams, or so their reputation goes. Bavarians take it in the middle. Stefanski giving it up. Klopp right back. Stefanski can't get to it, gets some help. All the way across Bravo. Right side Brockman. Across the other way, and it's headed out. Great play by Bobby Gansler. a switch, though. Brockman was on the right side.
That's right. Gamser really saved that one there. He was in, and if he hadn't gotten ahead on that, they may have been in for a shot on goal.
Well, when we first saw him coming out on the field, you're impressed mostly with his size, but it's one thing to be big, but you got to play big if you are.
Exactly, and he is. He is today so far.
Odier at the other end. A lot of experience. Giving it up to Elbers. Back for Odier. There's the Bob Gansler header after the Brockman quality cross. And we're seeing Brockman on this side. What kind of a change is that? Is that something he has seen to make an adjustment?
What we may have here is they may have put him on a player that he can utilize his speed even more on.
We'll look for that on this near side. Right now, it's Mike Rowe with some good dribbling. Giving it up. Here's Klopp, normally a midfielder, playing now as a forward. Maybe the most versatile player on this team. Stebbins chasing. Stebbins giving it up on the right side. On the cross inside for Klopp. And it's cleared away as Klopp was approaching. Diving header in infamy.
Right here, White. Hey, somebody's got to put the ball there.
We had a great opportunity here. We have a great cross. The attacker there gets in behind his player, and he just doesn't get ahead on it. Jim Klopp there with the opportunity.
Come off a little bit. Yeah, come off a little bit.
Jim
Okay,
Klopp.
come off a little bit.
Corner kick coming up. You can hear all the chatter. Sent across by Zace. Bang not out of danger yet. Hospo slips. It cost him as Odipe clears it upfield. To the near side. And that's banged out as well. Not a lot of room on the sidelines here. And that was too quick on the start. In fact, an improper throw-in.
I think the Greek Americans were looking for a quick counter there.
Near side. Some tight marking down below us. Hospo, left-footed blast towards the left wing corner flag. Zace getting to it, or almost getting to it. And then a collision between he and Elbers. One of the good signs for both of these teams is the communication. We're hearing a lot of it. It's not coming from the stands. It's other players and other coaches.
Yeah, this is a good point here. Obviously, they're trying to build the play up, and it's not happening without the communication.
Cards there, putting it in play in the 20th minute. Still scoreless. Wow, was that a collision. And both players just bounced right back up. Back into the goalkeeper's box area. And Marshall calls everybody off. The throw for Zace, number 13. And it's cleared. It goes over this near sideline. Throw-in coming up.
You've got the players going up there. Just, yeah, it looks like an elbow. Elbow right in the back of his head.
Headache. Near side on the cross. One player misses. Here's Brockman to the left. The shot. Stopped by Marshall. The rebound. Cleared off the line.
Great defensive play there.
Oh, Brockman again has switched. He's going to be a tough guy to mark if they were ever doing anything but a zone. How do you find him? There's got to be communication if he's switching wings like that.
Yeah, I think so. That's really, it looks like that's their game plan. Keep him moving around. The defense can't keep track of him. There's a great scoring opportunity there.
Two of them.
Right, the defense made a save right off the line there.
Cleared upfield. Here's Stebbins. Not a lot of room back there. As Stebbins made his break, there were 5 players back there. Defense, the key word, is Zace. Takes over in the scoreless match, looking for help. Finding it on the left. Inside, the pass intended for Hospo. And it goes out. It would seem here like the Greek Americans have had more of the opportunities, at least offensively. Is that the way you see it? Is there something else out there?
No, that's exactly right. They're actually they've had 2 or 3 scoring chances. We saw that one on the other end, but it seems like they're getting the majority of the play now.
They'll be talking about Brockman at halftime, I'm sure, at least in the locker room of the Bavarian Soccer Club. They've got to find a way to deal with him before he buries them. Here's Zace. Brought down and then clear to the halfway line. Turning it inside. Martin with a good flick. Right side for Wall. He tried to leave it. And Semioli and he didn't communicate. Hospital. Right side. Looking deep. Sapansky would need a longer field to get that goal kick coming up. I'm watching Brockman, and he has already retreated deep at the other end. So obviously he works both ways, but it's going to be harder to mark him defensively if he's moving not just side to side, but also deep.
Yeah, not only is his speed a threat, which normally with players that have a lot of speed, they don't have as much work rate, but it seems like his endurance is also there.
That's not the right way to stop him, although it did slow him down on the foul on Don Arnold. In the 23rd minute of play, there's no score. Along with Wendy Gebauer, I'm John Paul Della Camera. Glad you're with us today on Prime as it's played long for Justin Wall.
Yeah, I gotta get there.
And Justin put it over the bar. Another good opportunity, though. In the air, this team is dangerous.
It's surprising there. He out-headed Gansler on that with Gansler's height back there. We've got the cross here. We've got Justin Wall getting up over Gansler for that header and just couldn't bring it down quite enough.
Back the other way. Cleared upfield to Van Reenen, avoiding a tackle. That's McNevin, number 2, giving it up. Played back to Tim Martin. Tim Martin playing it long. Looking to flick it on the opposite wing is Wall to Elbers, number 5, and it's tackled out. Zace did a nice job. He tackled it off Elbers. He gets it throw-in. Throwing is short. And taken away, play continuing. The Bavarian team wanted a foul call. We have one player down, and Arnold with a tough tackle there. They want them to tend to an injured player. That's Alioto. That's motioning to the player that's down. And that would be a tough guy to lose, Sapansky, because he's one of the guys that can turn a game around.
Looks like Sapansky settles it here. Ball gets away from him a little bit, and just a sliding tackle, and he gets upended there.
Direct free kick coming up. Brockman is there again over the ball, along with Bravo, number 8. 3-man wall set up. Brockman fakes. 2 players fake. Bravo, a right-footed shot. That's where a bad field could cause a problem. That ball never hopped, though, on Marshall. Bravo getting that shot. A little trickery on the free kick.
I think what we saw happening there is the 2 dummy runs caused the wall to separate a little bit, and that ball got right through there. It was a great scoring chance.
Back at the midfield line. Taken away by the Greek Americans. They're in the red uniforms. If you're just joining us here on Prime, Greek Americans going against the Bavarian Soccer Club of Milwaukee. Down the left side, Justin Wall chasing it. At the far sideline, trying to beat 2, and he does. Wall tried to play it across, and he did everything right, but that last touch when he went to the right foot, it didn't work. Intercepted, though. Greek Americans play it back, and if you're looking for a more aggressive team right now, think about the last few tackles and the last few surges. It's the Greek Americans.
Yeah, it sure is there. On that last scoring chance, maybe if he'd lifted it a little bit, it might have gotten it through those 2 defenders. They were out on him real quickly.
Goal kick coming up for Jim Marshall, who plays at Marion College in Wisconsin. He'll be a senior this fall. Marshall smacks it on a line drive at the halfway line. Intercept the Greek Americans, turning it back inside. Paul Bravo. Back for Derek Van Reenen. Tim Martin, number 3. Now some nice short passing by the Greek Americans. Here's Bravo. Van Reenen. Make the other guys work for it. Here's Bravo. They're making it look easy. Let the ball do the work in this scoreless game. Cleared out by Alioto. Falling and bouncing out. There's McNevin. McNevin inside for a Wall, and he did well just to reach that ball.
He sure did. I'll tell you, we were lucky to even get that cross off. It looks like the players are slipping a little bit. Maybe the ground is a little bit soft out here. They're losing their traction.
I like what we saw before. Maybe we'll see some of this on the replay. That's Wall. He can't quite get to it, but I like what we saw before. The short passes, try to get the other team napping, and then that long pass.
Exactly. They're lulling them into to being complacent there, and then attacking with a long ball serve.
Goal kick again for Marshall in the 27th minute of play. Scoreless at the Open Cup final. Two teams that have worked very hard to get this far. Alioto giving it up on this near side. That's Mike Rowe. Sopansky. Stebbins calling for help. Yeah, the intensity level has picked up, but I think really on one side, and Stebbins was looking for some help, and he wasn't getting it.
That's what we're seeing in the difference in the midfield. We're having close support for the, we're having close support in the midfield for the Greek Americans, but it doesn't seem to be there.
No foul, Danny. Just hold him.
Greek Americans out shooting the Bavarian Soccer Club at 6-1. And sometimes stats are misleading, but I don't think so
Watch
here.
this long one.
Not at all.
Step up! Step up!
You can hear it. The step up. They're playing the offside trap.
Hey!
On the left side. Zeiss played it across. Gathered in, and now Wall looks for it. So does Brockman. Taken back the other way. Here's Zeiss. Holding. To the left side, looking for it. Odier is there. He goes down, the ball goes out.
Up on top, Jack.
And it belongs to the Bavarian Soccer Club.
Drop off, Timmy. Timmy, give a hand there. Okay. Deep guys, okay.
I like to hear that kind of chatter at field level. All the way across, and just missing was Klopp. But a good idea, and finally a chance at this end. 29th minute of play, still scoreless. The edge belonging to the Greek Americans, at least up to this point. We don't have an official weather report right now, but temperatures are even rising.
We got a great cross coming across here, and good scoring chance there. Great header, headed it right down just wide. Jim Klopp missing just wide.
On the far side, Bob Gansler will have ball possession for the Bavarian team. Feels like right now we're getting close to the 90-degree level on this field. It's the home field for the German-Hungarian club. Played long on the left side. Zeiss can't get it. Klopp won't be able to either with Odier there. Odier running into some problems. Ball possession will go the other way. Greek Americans will have it. Aram Kardzer will put it back in play. This Open Cup has a great tradition. Began in 1914, first won by the Brooklyn Field Club. Last couple of years, it has been won by California-based teams, and you're looking to make it 3 straight years here. All the way back to Martin. Going long for Wall. Wall leaving it off. Van Reenen now to McNevin. Intercepted. Hospital. Off the tackle is one. There's Brockman at the defensive end. What doesn't he do? On the dribble to Bravo. Bravo sneaks by 2. Oh, what a great balancing act, and now he's down. A low center of gravity may have helped him, but now he's hurting. And maybe a yellow card to Rowe. I couldn't see it from this angle, but he may have stuck a knee in there. But tough break for Bravo. He did everything well on that.
He'd beaten a couple players in through there, and if they didn't do something, he was gonna get a good shot off there. You see Bravo here. He's a little bit unbalanced. He beats another player and then gets upended. This is a great scoring chance here for the Greek Americans.
The card did go to Rowe. You could see it. He stuck his knee in. It looked like kneecap to kneecap. Last time they found an opening in the wall, it was maybe the same distance, perhaps a little farther out. Brockman's number 11 over the ball. Brockman steps over. The shot is deflected and it goes wide of goal. But again, they like to disguise things on the free kicks.
That time they sent just one player across. I thought maybe they were going to lay it off for... Here we go. Yeah, it's just wide. Beats the wall, but not quite enough spin on the ball to bring it back on the face of the goal.
On the right side, it's played long. Semioli was looking for it, thought it was a handball. In any event, it went off of Stebbins. In the 32nd minute of play, it is scoreless between the Greek Americans in the red and the Bavarian Soccer Club in blue and white. Semioli all the way back to Tim Martin. Odier gets it on the near side. He also is a product of the University of San Francisco. All the way back, and Marshall is there. Alioto.
Why, Danny?
Alioto giving it up to Hospital. Hospital will play it long, and that was too long. Maybe some miscommunication as well with Stebbins, and then the right-sided player. 33rd minute of play. Greek Americans have the edge in terms of the shots, but it's still scoreless on this near side. Wall couldn't get to it, so he plowed over Arnold and committed that foul. The game has opened up, though, Wendy. After the first maybe 7-8 minutes, they were feeling each other out, but it doesn't seem to be that way anymore.
Right now, it looks like the Greek Americans are getting the run of the play. They're settling it down real well in midfield, a lot of composure. They're just being patient on their scoring chances.
Showing a lot of the experience. They have an edge there in experience. There's an Alioto, certainly, for the Bavarian Soccer Club, and on their bench, Hayden Knight, a very experienced player. But when you look at the two teams that are out in the field right now, there seems to be a lot more ex-professional experience on the side of the team in red, the Greek Americans. Elbers, 36 years of age, also played at San Francisco. On the right, Bravo to Elbers. Elbers right foots it across where Brockman leaves it for Van Reenen. Intercepted. Sapansky, a little bit of room, and now it's lost. Stebbins finding an open player. Sapansky in the middle, going along for Klopp, and the goalkeeper, Hartzer, is there to get it. Semioli giving it up on the left side. Taken now by Martin. All the way across on the right. Here's Elbers. Going far post on that cross, headed down by Brockman. But it goes wide of play. We're hearing corner, but that was not the referee's call.
Good call, ref.
He had said goal kick. We're in the 35th minute of play, still scoreless.
We have a nice cross here, and looks like Brockman gets up over. He was good scoring chance, just a little bit wide. He was calling for a corner kick there, but it was clearly won by Brockman.
Initially, Wendy, in conversations with the coaches and administrative staff, they talked about lots of 4-4-2, or pretty close to a 4-4-2, even though they're using a sweeper. But we're noticing a much more crowded midfield. How do you break that down?
Actually, it looks like we've got a 5-man midfield here.
Time, Jim. Let's go.
The Greek Americans are doing okay with it. They're getting through it with a lot of short passing and a lot of quick support.
Come, Paulie. Come on, Paulie.
Sapansky will take it back now for the Bavarian Soccer Club, going along in an offside indication. One of the few we've had, maybe even the first of this match. Still scoreless. Right now entering the 36th minute of play. Along with Wendy Gebauer, a member of the 1991 Women's World Championship team. I'm John Paul Della Camera. Tempers are short, and Hospital's going to get a card. If the referee noticed that, I'm not sure if his back was turned at the time. He may be cards to both, but Hospital definitely took a swing at the end, and you can't blame it on the heat. It's just been very physical. It's either warnings for both or cards for both. If it's warnings, that can be considered a favor. That's all right. Whatever you do, if you retaliate, you as a player know that. Never do it in front of the referee.
The foul may not be your fault in the first place, but if you're the one retaliating, when he turns his back, you're in trouble.
Usually it's the second person. Not just in this game, but in life that gets caught. Lifted along on a free kick. Headed toward goal. Marshall was there. The linesman had a flag up anyway. So one offside each now. In the 37th minute of play, it is Alioto who will put it in play. The team that looked pretty strong in the back is all of a sudden vulnerable. And aside from the big clearance by Bob Ganser, it seems like balls through the air have found their mark.
I'm really surprised to see Ganser getting out-headed on these last two chances here. Seems to be getting a little bit fatigued from this heat.
Mike Rowe down the left side. Tackled down. Semioli. And a foul is called. Giving you a chance at home to hear some of the strategy there.
Jan! Hey, Jan! Stay there.
A lot of voices, though, to decipher. You heard one say set it up early to try and take advantage. Obviously, that advice was not heeded.
One right, Jan! One right, Jan! Okay.
All set from the near side.
On the ground.
38th minute, still scoreless. It goes by everybody out to Hospel. And a handball infraction on Hospel. So after all that setup, nothing develops. One of the things I think about with the Greek Americans, they are the older team. Right now, they look like the better team and the fitter team, but they don't have a reward to show for the first half, and the stats are still lopsided. It could come back and haunt them in the second half.
That's right, JP. The Bavarians just need one real good scoring chance, and even though they haven't had the run of the play, it's a 1-0 game, whole new ball game.
Come in, Danny.
Sapansky up the middle, laid there by Klopp. Now intercepted. Here's Bravo. He's got some space. Looks for some help, and he finds it. A run to the right side by Van Reenen. Across in the middle. It's settled. Looking to turn it back. Van Reenen. Switched outside. Elbers. Elbers crossing it to the far post area. Brockman again heading it down. Intended for Bravo. Hospital won that and cleared it almost all in one motion. Stebbins. And this one goes out on the far side. On the throw it comes back. We talked about the heat possibly being a factor before, Wendy. Obviously, if you're a pro and that's your full-time job, you're trained for it. What is it like here? Even though these guys do probably train most every day, they're not professional athletes full-time.
They may not be quite used to the humidity levels, too. That really does take an effect on these players. It's the training probably isn't quite as consistent as it would be for somebody training full-time. These guys got jobs and are training probably 2 or 3 times a week.
Stebbins gave it up. Cross to the middle. ODA cleared that out. Most of the action has been the other way toward Jim Marshall's end. The goalkeeper for the Bavarian Soccer Club. Now down the left side. Klopp with a nice idea. Well adjusted to by Semioli. In the 40th minute, he'll go long. McNevin doesn't get a great hop on that ball, but he settles it down. On the cross right side, there's Brockman. And again, after maybe about 7 minutes on the left side, he is again switched to the right side. No doubt he'll be talked about at halftime in the locker room, maybe even by both sides.
He did a good job getting into the box there, too. I think we had a through ball there that time to McNevin. Got a great cross off, just a little bit long.
Brockman appears to be the most effective player of this first half for either side. Semioli won that air battle. Eventually settled. Delaray. Chest trap Van Reenen. Slides it across. Tim Martin. He's got room and options. Martin bends it inside on a driven ball. Intercepted. Alioto. Straight up the middle. That's about as far upfield as he has come so far today. In the 41st minute, Zace will clear it down the left wing. Semioli in better position. Back to the goalkeeper, who can't use his hands on that pass back from the foot of a teammate. Worked out to Elbers. This team has a lot of poise. Coming out against some high pressure. That's Justin Wall. Wall played at Westmont College, also with the San Francisco Bay Blackhawks. Less than 5 minutes here in the first half. Right through it comes Brockman, and a save by Marshall. I looked to see if the flag was up, and the referee glanced at the linesman near side. I didn't see it. Here's a long distance shot. Saved by Marshall. Martin should have had a goal. Oh, they're just pouring it on. The Greek Americans doing everything but scoring. And the shots are even more lopsided now. They've got to be closer to double figures. I'm impressed, but Marshall just made the save of the game right there.
We see Bravo. We've got it. They make a great ball to get through there, and Brockman just hits it right at the keeper.
Second one was off of Tim Martin that came from longer distance. But just because you're farther out doesn't mean your chances are less likely, at least not in that case. Here's Elbers on the right side. We're in the 42nd minute of play in this first half, and the Greek Americans now, dare I say, are dominating. That's a strong word, but right now I think they are. Klopp will give it up now to Stebbins. Leaving it off. Schweiner broken up. Odier has never come this far up in this game, and he's still going. Down the left side, Brockman looking for Odier, and there's Marshall. And Odier's got a long way to run back when you're 38 years old in this heat. I think he knew that the first half was coming towards an end and saw a chance to go up the middle, but right now he's very winded. He's going to hope for some support back there. He's not even trying to get back there. His position, though, is covered. In fact, he's staying up near the halfway line as Semioli takes it. Semioli avoiding the Hospital tackle. Semioli with a driven ball across for a wall. It doesn't make it.
You guys are cheating!
Good effort on the right side. Van Reenen could have done better with that, and he knows it. But the work rate of the Greek Americans right now is incredible in this heat and humidity. 10-1 are the shots, so they are in double figures, and that's no accident. They worked hard for those chances. I would have thought maybe 2 goals by now, possibly 3. Definitely that last shot by Tim Martin was labeled.
That was a great shot by Tim Martin, and keeper just got a hand on it. By far, that's the best save of the game so far.
And again, you've got to wonder what happens if this Greek American team has nothing to show for this dominance of the first half. Here's Brockman on the far side. No shade at all in this field. It's completely open to the sunlight. So that heat and humidity and strong sun may play a factor in the latter stages of the match. Right now, we're in the latter stages of just this first half. Still scoreless in the Open Cup final. Bavarian Soccer Club in the white and blue. Greek Americans from Northern California in the red as this one goes out of play. Well, at this point, neither side obviously wants to give up a goal. Momentum-wise, it could be disaster. But if you're the Greek Americans, you've been pushing hard. It's still not a bad idea to continue to go forward. You're bound to get one the way you're going.
They should. They seem to have a little more energy right now. The heat doesn't seem to be getting to them as much, and this is when the Bavarians are vulnerable. These last few minutes of the half.
Fortunately, Marshall has helped to save them at the other end. Not just by the saves he's made, but remember all of those dangerous crosses that he has at least maybe helped to divert. In the air again, this time it's won by Roll for the Bavarian side. They've not won that many battles in the air. That might have been only the second or third. Not many more, certainly. Our clock shows we're in the last minute of play. Hospital giving it up. They look for the give and go. Tackle away. Bavarian Soccer Club sending it into the left side. They had time, but Zeiss would never have been able to catch up to that one. We're approaching the end of this first half of play. In fact, now at injury time by a few seconds. There have been a few stoppages, nothing all that severe, so we shouldn't see too much time put on here. Kardzer gave it up. And now, perhaps sensing the end of the first half, even the Greek Americans are slowing it down. Give it up into the middle. Hospital, number 14 in white for the Bavarian side. On the dribble, giving it up to Zeiss. Maybe a chance before the end of the half, and it's covered up well by the goalkeeper, Kardzer. We want to put this ball back in play quickly with time running out. It's a corner kick.
Back post time!
You hear that back post, near side up a couple of flicks. That's all it would have taken for a team that has been dominated in this first half to get a 1-0 lead. That would have been incredible.
Just shows that the Greek Americans never want to get lulled into, being complacent. They've got to be upset going into this half without a score.
And we're beyond 1 minute in terms of injury time. A lot of traffic in front, and several players, Wendy, just missed it.
Yeah,
They're
it
in
looks
the right
like
spot.
we had one person in there looking for a header, but didn't quite get to it.
That's it. First half comes to an end, and you've got to give the decision easily to the Greek Americans.
Exactly. They have dominated this game so far. I don't think we might see the Bavarians maybe come out and try and play a little more high-pressure defense, because they really are letting the Greek Americans settle the ball down and get the run of the play.
Stats will show you that the Greek American side dominated in the first half. We'll have stats for you later on during our telecast. We'll also show you some highlights when we come back from our halftime break. But right now, we remind you, you're watching the U.S. Open Cup final. It's scoreless between a dominating Greek American side from Northern California and the Bavarian Soccer Club from Milwaukee.
For 1 month every 4 years, soccer is not just a game. It's the World Cup. Brought to you by Budweiser, official beer of World Cup '94.
When I became my own boss, I also became my own employee. So now he tells me to make coffee, open the mail, make sure the copier's working. So I checked around and people said get a Canon personal copier. Canon has a unique single cartridge that contains the toner, developer, drum, and virtually all the moving parts. Change the cartridge, and it's like getting a new copier. Buying it was such a good idea, I took him to lunch.
Canon personal copiers. Call 1-800-4321-HOP.
I've played a lot of great courses in my life, and I'd like to think I've designed a few, but I've never played a golf course quite like this. Golf Magazine has introduced a 30-page monthly section called The Golf Course, a unique 18-hole editorial format that delivers more instruction, more features, more of everything. Reading Golf Magazine is like teeing off on a brand new course every month. That's why I joined Golf Magazine as special contributor.
You can join Golf Magazine, too, for custom-tailored private lessons to help you score better. Call now and get absolutely free Jack's video playing the percentages, an insider's guide to improving your game and managing the course for lower scores and more fun. Call now for a great deal on Golf Magazine and your free video. Jack, it's great to have you on the Golf Magazine team. Where should we look for you in upcoming issues?
Where else? The golf course.
The second commercial-free half of this U.S. Open Cup final is being brought to you in part by Fujifilm, a new way of seeing things. By Sprint, be there now. By ITT Sheraton, the official hotel of the U.S. World Cup team. By Canon, a proud sponsor of the U.S. World Cup team. And by Coca-Cola, always Coca-Cola. 0-0 at halftime between the Greek Americans and Bavarian Soccer Club. Along with Wendy Gebauer, I'm John Paul Della Camera. Time, Wendy, for you to play coach. You're now Brian Tompkins. Your team has been pretty badly outplayed, I thought, in the first half, and you've got Brockman to consider. What are some of the potential conversations maybe going on in that Bavarian locker room?
The Bavarians have to be excited about coming out of that half with 0-0. I think that what they need to do, really, they're giving the Greek Americans a little bit too much time to settle the ball down and work it out of the back. I think they need to up their pressure a little bit. They've only got one more half. They might as well blow it out.
The chances have belonged to the Greek Americans, but unfortunately for them, Jim Marshall has been solid in goal. We are scoreless at halftime. We'll continue our coverage here on Prime, so stick around. You're watching the U.S. Open Cup final from Oakford, Pennsylvania.
They don't play kick the can like you used to. They don't dress the same way. They learned to read 3 years before you did. They've never owned a record. So why are you taking pictures of them with the same old film? Try Fujicolor Super G film. Because your picture should be nostalgic. Your film shouldn't.
So, does it ever get any easier?
I don't think it's supposed to. It's a sophisticated flight simulator. But around here, we call it the box. Even though it doesn't fly, it's sure going to test how well you can. At American, we come here twice a year to get checked out. You know, I don't know of another airline that puts more emphasis on training.
See you in 6 months.
Oh, I'll be back. But if you happen to be sitting behind me,
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
I bet you'll agree.
Welcome you aboard American Airlines.
It's worth it.
Our flight this morning should be a smooth one.
In my country, England, that is, it's called football.
Funky, funky, I am a joker.
No refs, no rules, no coaches, just the players and the ball.
Funky, funky, I am a jockey. Funky, funky, I am a
Welcome back, everyone, to our U.S. Open Cup final. The Greek Americans and Bavarian Soccer Club are scoreless here at halftime. Right now, it's time for our Budweiser halftime report, being brought to you by Budweiser. Fresh, pure, and natural. Proud to be your Bud. Time now for highlights.
Here's a great scoring chance for the Bavarians in the first half. Early in the first half, we have a cross into the box, and Elbers doesn't quite get a good header on it. Goes right to the foot of Zeiss. He sees the keeper's out, chips it right over, and just hits the crossbar. Very unlucky there for the Bavarians. And here we have a scoring chance for the Greek Americans. It's a tight pack defense, and they work a great give and go here. Bravo finds Brockman. Brockman is through. But unfortunately, he hits it right at the keeper. The keeper was still standing upright. If he'd hit it low, far post, he may have scored there.
That'll do it for our Budweiser halftime highlights, being brought to you by Budweiser. Proud to be your Bud.
You hang a picture, you change its position, and soon your wall looks like a dartboard. Introducing the Does It Handy Hanger. Nothing does it like Does It. Just place a handy disc on the applicator and watch the special adhesive heat up. Press it on the wall, and that's it. Use the Does It Handy Hanger on painted walls, on wood paneling, on wallpaper. It safely holds up to 10 pounds and more, yet it can be removed as easily as it attaches without leaving any mark at all. Does it on tile. It even does it on glass. And look, your Does It Handy Hanger also comes with these utility hooks. Use them in the kitchen, the bathroom, even in your tool shed. You get everything for $29.95. Order your Does It Handy Hanger now.
Use your credit card and call toll-free 1-800-982-5959 or send $29.95 plus $5.95 shipping to Does It Handy Hanger, P.O. Box 667, Department 270, Georgetown, Connecticut 06829.
Music is soft rock, then you should hear this new album called Lost in Love.
It's a new 4-record collection that has 36 of the best soft rock hits performed by the original artists.
You got it all over him. You got me over him. Secret lovers. Who's gonna drive you home? 4 records or 2 cassette tapes are only $19.95.
2 compact discs, just $24.95.
Here's how to order.
To order Lost in Love, call 1-800-522-5333 or send $19.95 for records or cassette tapes or $24.95 for 2 compact discs plus $4.95 shipping and handling to the address on your screen.
Welcome back, everyone, to the National Open Cup final. The Greek Americans and the Bavarian Soccer Club 0-0 after 45 minutes. It's getting hotter here in Oakford, Pennsylvania. We'll see if that heat and humidity play a factor. Greek Americans with a better side in that first half, out shooting the opposition at 10-1. And you saw the only scoring chance for the Bavarians at halftime. Here's Stebbins looking here, right across, and Klopp just missed it. He needed to be about a foot deeper towards goal, but that's not a bad way for the Bavarian Soccer Club to start this half.
Klopp almost had that there. Maybe diving header might have gotten something on it, but it was just a little bit out of his reach.
Goalkeeper, cards there. We'll put it in play there as Klopp, number 17. Member of the University of Wisconsin at Milwaukee. Near the halfway line. Klopp again, now over it. Trying to clear it forward. Odier miskicks it. Showing up again is Brockman, this time working the center of the field. Giving it up into the middle. Bravo plays it across in the right. Brockman again, a workhorse out there. Van Riemen chasing. Giving it up now on this left side. Martin holding it.
That's it.
McNevin looking, Stebbins is there. Play continuing. McNevin just out hustles everyone to win that ball. Into the second minute of the second half, still 0-0. Here's Stebbins. Coming back the other way. Remember, if we're still tied after 90 minutes, it's 2 15-minute overtimes, not sudden death. And then if it's still tied, penalty kicks. Remembering that, of course, from the World Cup final, won by Brazil over Italy on PKs. Might be the last time that's ever going to happen at a World Cup final. All the way across, Cardzeres, it's headed across, and there was no one there in support at the far post. But what's happening defensively? You were talking about maybe some high pressure from the Greek team. They've been unable to do that. What's been the reason?
I think what we see here, we have a replay here. Nice cross. The keeper is pulled out, and oh, there's a great header there.
What's been the reason? Getting back to my question, what's been the reason for the resurgence of the Bavarians? Why are they finding this kind of space?
You know, I think they came out of halftime feeling really good here. They had been dominated as far as shots and opportunities, and it's 0-0. It's a new game.
Here's Martin. For a brief moment, at least, Shade has covered the field. Don't know for how long that's going to happen. Down to the left corner.
Keep it in, Bob.
And it's deflected out. Should be a corner kick. Here in the 4th minute of this second half. The number 7 player is Peter Schweinert, who you were just looking at. And now ready for the corner kick, the Greek Americans. Wall will do it.
Wait, somebody's got to go up top, too.
Here's Wall. Sending it low. It's blasted away by Gansler at the near post. Klopp came a long way to try and get to that ball. Now it's Odier. Wide right. Bravo. Sending it far post, and that's too far for anyone. The intended receiver of that was Michael Delaray.
Brockman cleared the space there, took the defender with him, and Delaray was wide open on the back. The cross was just a little bit out of his reach.
Marshall will give it up. He's been a workhorse. On the other side, Cardzer has hardly been tested. Alioto, formerly with the Milwaukee Wave of the NPSL, giving it up down the right side. Klopp. Jim Klopp plays it back. Arnold holding, ready to tee it up, bends it inside, just wide, but also Zeiss was trying to race it on the left side. Clearly this team, though, was thinking more offensively than they were in the first half.
I think Coach Tompkins must have told him to take every shooting opportunity that they had. He'd seen some good long-range shots.
Martin will take it here. Starting to get a little breezy here, but players especially won't mind that. Odier holding. Giving it up on the right side. Taken by Bravo. Look at Klopp with some high pressure, but he missed. Given up at the other end. Here's Martin. Now to the near side. Gansler in the air. Schweinert with a knock. And then cleared upfield right into the middle of the space area. Arnold going forward now in this half. More players are going forward this half, certainly, for the Bavarian side than were in the first half. They looked for the give and go, but it's not there. Bravo will pick it off. Much different than last year's Open Cup final when the Deportivo team beat the German-Hungarian side 5-0. That was never a game. This is, despite the lopsided edge and stats, it's still anyone's game, and one goal could turn it. In fact, one goal could even win this.
That's right, JP. We've seen so many scoring chances in the first half for the Greek Americans, and now they seem to be having a little bit of trouble getting into their rhythm this second half.
Throw in coming up. The Bavarian side to take it. Among those spectators here watching today is Bob Gansler Sr., former coach of the U.S. World Cup team, watching his club team play and his son play. On the right side, here's Stebbins, giving it up to Klopp. Klopp going forward, looking to create, sends this one far side, and a lot of good initiative by Klopp. He looks like a different player, so clearly it seems like the instructions have changed to some of these players.
He had a lot of space there, JP. He really chewed it up, and looked like he was trying to hit a shot with the outside of his right foot to bend it back in on the face of the goal. Just didn't hit it quite right.
Also in attendance today is Alan Rothenberg, president of U.S. Soccer and the conductor, I guess, of the orchestra, if you will, of World Cup '94, which was an unbelievable success here. As we take a look at our halftime scoreboard, 10-1 were the shots, and the saves 3-0. Marshall made at least 2 of them as tough ones, 3 corners to none. The surprising factor might be only 2 offsides in that whole first half. Fouls don't seem that many now when we look, but it seemed like more in the first half. 13 total. Coming back the other way, Bavarian Soccer Club up the middle. Zeiss, I thought he was going to shoot it. Instead, he passed it, and I think his teammates thought he was shooting it as well. Is this part of a strategy, perhaps, for the Greek-American side, waiting now and maybe looking for that counter? Or is this just something that the Bavarians are doing very well?
I think the Bavarians are doing great. They've gotten into the rhythm much quicker than the Greek-Americans.
That could all change, of course, with that one quick pass as the handball is called. On number 13, Delaray. Still 0-0 in the 8th minute of play. Free kick coming up. Alioto to take it. Strong driven ball off the left footer is cleared this way by McNevin. Throw in to come up from this near sideline in the 9th minute of play. Team captain Arnold. Don Arnold's throw in, picked off by Semioli. No changes were made at halftime. Again, you're allowed 2 subs, plus you can substitute if you want for the goalkeeper. Gansler in a tough challenge that time, beating Delaray, but he'll lose possession. McNevin will throw in. McNevin's near side toss, Brockman the intended man, and it's blasted out of play. One thing for sure, Brockman hasn't been as much of a factor in the second half, but I think it's because his team hasn't had the ball as much.
And they haven't. He doesn't seem to be going back in the midfield as much to get that ball either. Maybe they're looking to target off him the second half.
Peter, you go ball. Somebody's got to go. Peter, go ball.
McNevin will throw in. McNevin's toss near post, headed down and out. The referee is indicating that it's a corner.
Look at it. Look at it.
And in situations like this, 2 teams fairly evenly matched, at least coming in. Sometimes the game comes down to a corner kick, a direct free kick, some kind of a set play.
Yeah.
From the near side, sent in low, it's deflected across and banged away by Alioto. Odier with a bad trap. Taken away by Stebbins, one-on-one, and Odier with a great recovery.
Odier comes up big there, JP. There was no question he was going to win that ball.
Right back in the middle, Semioli.
Come on!
Oh, no one is on McNevin. Someone was asleep back there as McNevin carries it. Now switches it into the left wing corner area. Martin with a nice cut inside. Martin plays it across far side. Headed, tipped over the bar. Great save, but again, McNevin really sets it up, and someone was not in that area defensively.
Saw another great save by Marshall there, just barely tipping it over the crossbar.
Corner kick coming up.
Right here. Done.
Delaray was the man creating that chance in front.
Yeah, I can see.
From the opposite corner. High in there it goes, headed across, punched out and in, a score! The Greek Americans have scored. It's Van Reenen that got to it, and it came up a corner kick.
This is what we talked about earlier, JP, how potent that attack can be. If you get a corner kick, it's a free-for-all right in front of the box there. I think Marshall's got to be upset. He had that save, and it just came off his defender.
We'll check out first what led to this goal. The header from in close that came initially off Delaray was punched over the bar. And it led to this.
We got a corner kick here coming across. Great header. And actually looks as though Marshall has that ball, and it comes off his defender.
Number 4.
Derek Van Reenen will get credit for it. We're going to see a substitution. Elbers leaves. Checking in for the Greek Americans is the number 10 player. That's Richard McBride from American University. He has recently had some surgery, and that's one of the reasons why he was not in the starting lineup. 1-0 now, Greek Americans. And you might say, Wendy, that it was fitting, although the way it was going, you would have thought they would have scored in the first half. Not here, because here in this half, the Bavarians were the better side. Time of that score, unofficially, in the 56th minute.
Hey, Michael.
We'll check it out. It's Van Reenen's goal off the header. Played inside, intended for Delaray. And now it's Alioto. Delaray helping to win it along this near sideline. It's a free-for-all. Stebbins will get it. On the back heel for Alioto, going near side. Now it'll be interesting, Wendy, to see what happens here with the Greek Americans. Strategy could change as well with all that experience and maybe an age factor in this heat. Might they be playing more defensively?
I think it may be just in a 1-0 game, maybe a little bit too early for them to lay back and just try and keep possession of this ball. I think they'll still attack for a little while longer, still try and find Brockton up front.
Right side, Semioli. They've already made one substitution, sending Elbers out, who was one of their older players. Elbers is 36.
Follow it.
He was replaced by McBride, 26, so they gained 10 years on that swap. And some fresh legs. In the 56th minute of play, the goal was scored for the Greek American side to make it a 1-0 game. 12-3. Shots edge belonging to the Greek Americans. In the first half, it was 10-1. So here it's been 2-2 in the second half, a more evenly played second half. But the Bavarians don't have a goal after what they started off with was a very good attack in this second half of play. Here's Alioto.
JP, we are seeing a little bit of low pressure defense here. Looks like the Greek Americans are laying back just a little bit.
All the way back. A foul was called and it's going the other way. I don't know if they would normally play that way, Wendy, but Lothar Osiander's concern, speaking to us before the game, was that he hoped that they could last 90 minutes. So he was concerned, I'm sure, about the age of several of the players in this kind of heat. They played a game here a few weeks ago, not on this field, but against the Philadelphia team. Even though they won 3-0, he said they struggled in that half. And Lothar is the second person to the farthest side of your screen near the fourth official in the dark blue shirt. Former coach of the U.S. national team and Olympic team. It was nice to renew that acquaintance today. Hadn't seen him in quite some time. Back the other way to the right side. Here we come. Greek Americans with Martin's cross. Inside, headed down to the score. Delaray. Michael Delaray makes it 2-0. So perhaps the floodgates will now open.
Again, we had Brockman on the end of that goal to set it up. And Tim Martins crosses it over here. And Delaray just finishes it. Great, heads it right down. There's no opportunity for the keeper to get his hands on that. Again, we see another angle here. Great cross. Delaray just gets up, heads it straight down. That's a keeper's nightmare there.
Not much you can do in that situation. So Delaray scores to make it a 2-0 game. And now the Bavarian side is in trouble. And look at this resurgence on this team. Here's Bravo. All of a sudden, the legs are back. Nothing like a couple of goals to jumpstart the engine. Bravo will give it up into the middle. Played all the way across to the right side. There's Tim Martin. His play set it up with the cross. Again, it's in the air. And this time, Marshall is more aggressive in collecting that one. Delaray scores the goal. And that's at least an insurance goal, at least for now. But I think a big goal. Big difference in a 1-0 lead and a 2-0 lead. You saw that they were settling back, but all of a sudden they found space. And if you've got it, Martin did the right thing.
That's the experience showing through there, JP.
Tim Martin, formerly with the San Francisco Bay Blackhawks. Right now, the Greek Americans can feel it. So the adrenaline jumps up a little bit. The Bavarian bench not as enthused, obviously, as the Greek American side. They know it's an uphill battle. McNevin will head it this way in the 18th minute of play. Now, besides more players going forward, Wendy, which will leave holes in the back, what else can the Bavarian side do?
I think that they've got to continue to play high pressure. They cannot let these guys have time to settle the ball and work it out of the back.
Above all else, they need to go quickly to kind of stem the tide. Here's McNevin to Bravo. Semioli. And now it's showtime. To the right wing. Right at the halfway line. The attack was bothered a little bit, but not broken up completely. Stebbins chested it down, almost with a handball. It was close. Here's Hospital on the one-on-one.
Back door, back door! Back door! Yeah, okay, good. Step up to him, Derek!
Hospital coming back with it. Playing it across. Here's Arnold. In the middle. Alioto. Look how far up he is. A left-footed shot that goes sailing. I was going to say in the wind, but I don't really feel much of a wind right now, and that goes out of play. But you may see Alioto going even further up front to try and create some numbers. It's going to be hard. It's going to be very difficult.
Long-range shot from outside is one way that they can try and come up with a quick goal here.
How about individual play? If you've got a star, that person's got to want the ball. And so far, even though some of the players have come highly touted, we haven't seen that perhaps one creative individual that can turn that game around.
We may see Alioto moving up a lot, as we saw in this last play, trying to take over and really dominate this game.
A big play certainly needed, if not a goal. And you could hear that. That might have been an elbow up there. They better take care of that injured player, because that sounded very serious. That's a tough one. Can't see who that is. Rowe, it looks like. Mike Rowe. Or one thing about playing in the smaller stadiums, you do hear everything.
Here we see the replay. Both of them go up for a header, and it looks like he did get an elbow right in his eye.
Looked like some NBA action. Upfield and back to live action. It goes out of play. Another corner kick coming up. Unofficially, that should be 5 now for this side.
You on the backside.
Yeah. On the corner. There's McBride, and he put it over the bar. So a goal kick coming up for Marshall. And now we're going to see a substitution, if they allow it, for the Bavarian side. Hayden Knight. There's not too many players.
We have another good scoring chance here on the corner kick. And McBride really gets up, but he just can't get that ball down.
I was about to say, Wendy, there's not too many players that are household names to the viewing audience that are watching today, but a lot of people that watch the NASL and Major Indoor Soccer League at the time certainly know Hayden Knight, formerly with the Chicago Sting, and now more experience coming on as he replaces the Yukon player Zeiss. So Hayden Knight adds to the age at 37, but also adds to the experience, and he's been in these situations before. I'm sure at both ends. In the 21st minute of play in the second half, Greek Americans leading it 2-0, along with Wendy Gebauer, a member of the 1991 women's national team. I'm John Paul Della Camera. Thanks for joining us today here on Prime. Hayden Knight's first touch.
Stay with him, Rex. Jimmy.
Control on the left sideline. To the middle for Alioto. Not only is he going forward, but he's getting incredible space. Schweinert. No one on this right flank. As it's cleared for the moment. Hayden Knight, look at him shielding. Great job and a turnaround shot. Good thing it was blocked by Odier. Hayden Knight did that well.
He held the player off real well and was able to get his shot off. Just a good deflection there.
A lot of that's experience. When you look at him, he doesn't look like he's all that big. That was a great job. There's your goal scorer that's down and getting back up, Delaray. Here's Alioto. As we're back on live action to the right sideline. Schweinert. And only the second offside. Those are tougher calls to make now for the linesman because you can be even with the last defender. From our broadcast level, it's hard. At least it's hard for me to have seen it there. There were two players, so I'm not sure which one he called offside. Kardzer putting it back in play in the 23rd minute of the second half. It is a 2-0 game. Greek Americans are on top. Ironically, they were doing the dominating in the first half, and it was scoreless. Here's Brockman. Brockman has it blocked. Out to Bravo. Bravo lifting it across. There's Tim Martin's run down the right side. Martin tried to play it across, and it did go out over the end line. Another goal kick coming up for Marshall. 23rd minute of play. And the Bavarian side in deep trouble now. Down 2-0. With a little bit better than 20 some odd minutes to play. Unless, of course, they tie it. Klopp. Lifting it. Nobody near it. Odier lets it go for Kardzer. All the way to this side of McNevin. Defensively, they're doing what you said to the Bavarian side, picking up a little more pressure, trying to get to the ball and create something. Turnaround intended for Brockman, but that goes out of play.
We're really seeing Brockman pick up his work rate again. He's coming back into the midfield and getting the ball a lot, trying to play make from there.
On the throw-in by McNevin. Into the corner, Delaray again. Marshall bobbled it, but then he held on. He'll clear it. Semioli heading it back the other way. Settled down by Schweinert.
Left. Stay with you, Semi.
Here's Alioto. Trying the through ball, but Hayden Knight was manhandled by McBride. Back upfield, Delaray. Van Reenen going for Bravo. Bravo trying to get that on a bounce, and it goes out of play. And it should be a goal kick coming up. Big weekend here at Oakford, Pennsylvania. Not only is it the Open Cup, but the Amateur Cup is played here. Teams from all over the country gather. The competition gets better. The players get better from all sides, and it's something teams look forward to. This is the reward at the end of the year. Unfortunately, no one brags about being number 2. But so many teams couldn't come to Oakford for this weekend.
Hey, going.
Odier in the right. Missing. So did Stebbins.
Johnny, behind you!
Throw it on the far sideline. What you're really watching today on Prime is grassroots soccer. And it's nice to get away from all of the pros, and although no one wants to get away from a World Cup situation, but it's nice to get away from the pros and the colleges and come back to the club level. And a lot of these players have played at college for some very successful programs.
On the ball, man!
Probably from the men's standpoint, until Major League Soccer comes in next year, a lot of it has come the amateur way. Goalkeeper's view, that's Kardzer.
Left, okay.
He's concerned about play on the left because Arnold is there unmarked. Plenty of time to think about this one. Alioto inside, punched away by Kardzer, and he knows he's given away a corner, but he didn't want to rebound.
I got far post. I got near. Yeah, bro. Up on top here, up on top. Come on, Aaron. Richard, take his guy right here. take this one, Danny. Danny, front this guy. Mike.
From the corner, 2 players there. Normally, you expect it to go short unless it's a decoy.
Behind me.
Which it is. Center post area, and it's cleared over the bar. It was deflected, though.
Have another corner here.
Hey, good.
That's one way to do it. Obviously, on those set pieces, Bavarians continue to try to confuse the opposition. That was a pretty quality cross on that corner.
Hey, Michael, if they go short, you got to go top. Todd, you good? Yeah, that's you. No, that's Todd's man. Drop him off. Back around.
Another corner in the middle, and Semioli clears it.
Good, Todd. Yeah.
That's great stuff, that last close-up, to show you how communicative a goalkeeper especially must be. And this one is offside.
Greek Americans did well to pull up there and catch those 2 guys off sides.
Now, the Bavarian side didn't agree. You must have liked that rule change when they first went to it with the last player. Can be even.
Oh, yeah, being a forward, it definitely gives you a lot more chance to gamble.
And also the way the referees have been instructed, or the linesmen have been instructed to call it. Now, before, if they thought you were off, they called it. Now the attention has been, if you're not sure, let it go. Give the benefit of the doubt to the offense. And we saw how it really capitalized more goals during the World Cup on some close plays. On the right side, that was on the nasty side. That ball was gone. And Klopp's going to get a yellow card for that.
Brockman was taken down really hard there. Hopefully he's going to be okay. He's been a key for the Greek Americans.
Beware outside to the right.
When you get to this stage, obviously you've got to play at least up to your level. It seems like others have played above that, and Brockman might be one of those players. No matter how good he is, the skill level he exhibited in the first half and the energy was incredible. And he was getting things done. It wasn't wasted running. Here's Bravo. In the air is Marshall, and look at that challenge. Delaray again. Up the middle, the Bavarian Soccer Club. In the 29th minute, needing 2 goals just to tie it so that we could go to an overtime. Hayden Knight.
Hold him there.
Holding up. Sends it across. The header from Alioto. Right idea, but certainly it looked like out of his range, but a game effort for Tim Alioto.
Again, JP, we see Alioto getting up into the attack, trying to make a difference here.
Cardzer sending it long. Van Reenen and Delaray were your goal scorers. They've changed it here to an own goal in the first one, so they're saying it went off Van Reenen and then off someone else. We have given credit to Van Reenen. Delaray for certain on that last one. There's Delaray again, putting it into space. Marshall will be the closest one to it.
I don't think Wall wanted that ball there. I think he was looking for it at his feet. Maybe seemed to be getting a little bit tired.
Yeah. Come on, guys. We got a lot of time in there. Play it simple. Take it off the mark.
Time running out. Maybe 15 minutes in the season for this Bavarian side. Again, besides Alioto going forward, how do they create more?
They need to have at least one more player trying to emerge as a personality. It's not going to take just one man.
Hayden Knight might have been that player, at least according to the coach. He was the last player to come on. Here's Wall, turning it back inside, looking for numerical straight for Delaray. Tipped again. Nice save over the bar by Marshall. Delaray strong in the air and did well with that one as well.
Here you go, lad. Here you go, mate. Great ball,
Marshall's been a busy goalkeeper.
Keep playing, Red. Keep playing, Red. Come on, White.
Corner kick coming up.
Everything you got, White.
Here we have Wall.
15 left, boy.
Great cross. From our angle, didn't look as though he was going to get a shot off. And Delaray, he does. And actually, Marshall has to make a great save.
Back on live action. Hospital can't clear it out. A right-footed shot by Wall is stopped at the near post by Marshall. To the right side it goes. Clear it up to the middle. And then switched all the way back to the goalkeeper. Cardzer is there.
Get him up. Get him up. Get it up.
Cardzer will take his time. Speaking of time, there's less than 15, depending, of course, on injury time. If you're just joining us, the Bavarian Soccer Club are in the white uniforms, blue trim. In the red uniforms are the Greek Americans, who lead it 2-0. Both goals coming in the second half of play.
One in the middle, Timmy.
56th minute and 60th minute. When you scored twice within 4 minutes, you can really talk momentum. Here's Arnold. One goal could change it. It wasn't there, but that's the kind of effort that's needed. He was open and he fired.
Arnold looks hungry for a goal there, JP.
And there was no hesitation. He was thinking shot all the way.
Here we see he gets the ball. He's a little off balance there when he beat that player. He had a good shot on the ball there, but just wide.
Cards there. We'll put it back in play. That is Marshall at the other end, getting a well-deserved refreshment break. Near side, McNevin. Forced back by Stebbins, high pressure. Semioli with a clearance. Delaray trying to reverse header flick. He was looking to flick on to Bravo.
Danny, in line. Danny.
In the 33rd minute of play here in the second half, 2-0. The lead belonging to the Greek Americans, coached by Lothar Osiander, very familiar name, former coach of the U.S. national team and Olympic team in '92 at Barcelona. Down the right side, here's Justin Wall. On the dribble. Delaray holding it well, gave it up. Van Reenen tried to slide it across and didn't have enough energy to give it across, and Brockman was open. Good idea and some unselfish play by the Greek Americans. McNevin. Now Dantzler. Stebbins in the air. And one thing about the Bavarian side, certainly, although time is running out, they're still challenging. In fact, they're playing with more intensity this half than they were in the first half.
Well, I think that the thing is this is it. There's only about 12 minutes left in this game.
There's the familiar face we were talking about, Lothar Osiander, head coach of the Greek American side. That's his player that's down on the field.
Here we see Van Reenen going up, and he just gets clobbered there.
Seen more than a few elbows today. Here's Bravo. With a fake. And now again. In the air, Dantzler won it. Hospital. Oh, you can hear the grunting and groaning. Still working very hard on the Greek Americans. We talked about the Bavarian side. With a 2-0 lead, these guys are working hard as the team that needs the 2 goals to just tie it.
Hang on, man on. Danny. I really don't know when it's going to air.
The right side, Arnold clearing it. Here's a chance. Turn-on shot by Schweiner was deflected. It looked to be a better chance at the start until that deflection.
And the ball got away from him a little bit there.
Cards there, blasting it long over the midfield line. Coming back to McNevin. Dantzler looking for it, puts it down. Arnold clears it upfield. Now to the right side. Here's a turnaround inside. Wall will take it. Wall holding. Giving it up in the right wing. The cross from Martin. In the air, Van Reenen won that one against Arnold, but headed it wide.
Van Reenen has just dominated in the air here.
Greek American side trying to win it twice in less than a decade. 1985, their last stop on the winner's side. Oh, that was a tough one for Bravo. Net is empty with Marshall out. Play continuing with the advantage call. The chip across. Delaray shooting and scoring via the header. Michael Delaray. That's a great advantage call. No reason to stop play there. It's 3-0. Delaray's second goal, Greek Americans. If they didn't have it locked up at 2-0, they have it now.
Well, that was a great no call by the ref, letting that play go on. And then we saw some incredible composure by Martin, I think it was, on the right-hand side.
Martin has had a very spectacular game, maybe in a quiet sense, but all of his crosses have been quality, including this work on the right.
Here we see Martin beating the keeper here, and he's very composed. Just chips the ball in through there, and we have a goal. Great opportunity by Delaray there to finish it.
We're going to see another substitution, but first another look at the replay. Delaray, a very powerful header. It's one thing to have power, but you've got to have the accuracy, and he certainly has been there today. And not just because of the 2 goals. The change is going to be one for each side, apparently. For the Bavarian side, they'll make one switch. Lito Zabala will come in. And on the opposite side, we've got another change. The number 9 player, Steven Peteski. Peteski replaces Justin Wall. Peteski plays indoors for the Continental Indoor Soccer League Sacramento Knights team, but it was in his contract that if they got to this stage, he would be allowed to play. So it's a good thing he's getting in some game action, even though it's not that much here.
Behind you, hey, up on top. Up on top.
3-0 now in favor of the Greek Americans. Here's the throw in. Near side. Corner kick coming up. What a strange game soccer is, though, when you think about it. This looked more like a first half score with a 10-1 shots edge. Not here in the second half, but that's what we have now. Corner kick. Sapansky on a driven ball across, took a couple of bounces. Semioli clearing it. Almost a break. That would have been a great opportunity the other way.
It's out.
And this one goes out of play. If Petuski had been able to get that ball, he had a breakaway from maybe about 75, 80 yards upfield against some tired defenders trying to chase him. You got to feel sorry for Marshall, especially with some of the quality saves that he had made in the first half, but tough. It would have been tough for him to make the saves here in the second half. Great chances, great finishing by the Greek American side. Again, you talk about how strange a game soccer is. For such a long time, it was looking like a 1-0 game, but as so often does happen here, one goal opens up the gates a little bit more, and then the rout was on. Schreiner will take it back. About another 7 minutes to go for the seasons, really, of both of these clubs. As far as this competition is concerned, this will put an exclamation point on it for the winning side. Hayden Knight chasing. All the way back. I'm still amazed at the intensity that we're seeing from both of these sides, not really wilting in the heat. They may say later that they thought they were, but from a fan's point of view, we're not seeing it. What we are seeing, though, is that offside on Hayden Knight.
Knight's looking for any opportunity to get through there, but that's playing it just a little bit too close there.
Well, at one point, Wendy, when it's a 2-0 game, I think you can easily make the point that that one goal could turn it around, could jumpstart even a lucky goal. But here, 3-0, the way this game is going, be a major, major miracle.
It will, JP. It's going to be tough for the Bavarians to come back at this point.
Right now, scoring a goal would actually be a plus the way this is going. But it's been a nice effort by this side, and it continues. Cards there clearing it. Not out. Here's Schweinert. Schweinert plays it across in the air. What an attempt that was. Hayden Knight came flying through the air. Picked up some frequent flyer miles in the process, but missed.
Over there, buddy.
Looks like we've got a corner here.
Yeah.
You didn't see it, huh?
Again, we see the cross here. Burst of explosion there by Knight, looking for the diving header finish. It's just wide.
Well, if they're going to score a goal, that would have been a nice one right there on one of the diving headers by one of the oldest players in the team. Still a lot of chatter in the 40th minute. Greek Americans in the driver's seat of a 3-0 game, trying for their second Open Cup final win. In the middle, it's punched down. Rebound missing on a chance as the ball is still loose. Give it up for Hayden Knight. Knight still looking, trying to take a dive and attract a penalty kick, but it didn't work there. But Lito Zabala had a great chance. He just couldn't get the wheels going. And a foul called right in the center circle area. In the 41st minute of play. And Bravo didn't mean that one. At least I didn't think he did. Referee disagrees. Bravo was walking away unless the referee saw his hand go up. I'm guessing that's got to be it. because he was walking away from the play.
It didn't look like he was even expecting that.
Well, as long as the color's not red, and this is his last game, for now anyway, he won't mind. Here's Arnold. Arnold looking to cross. That one's deflected. Brockman was the man that got a touch of that.
Going to see another corner here, JP.
Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Come on.
More corners certainly here in the second half than we saw in the first half. And we're ready for yet another. Sapansky. That's deflected out. They'll do it again. In the 42nd minute of play. Right now, the Greek Americans are really thinking more about shutout, one would think at this point. Just getting the win. All the way across on the driven ball and just missing it. On that far side was Schweiner. All the way out to Alioto. Everybody else is going forward, so if Alioto misses that ball, it's a 2 on the keeper break. And it would have been an onside position.
It seemed to be surprised there that they caught offsides, but the way to beat that trap is for the forwards to keep coming back and let the midfielders go through.
We saw only 2 offside calls winning the entire first half, 1 for each team, but we've seen at least 3 here in this half alone from the Bavarian side. But they're looking for that quick pass, perhaps, quick chance at a goal, but they haven't gotten it. And right now they're being shut out 3-0 in the 43rd minute of play. Kardzer going deep. Headed upfield, that's McBride, heading it down. That's a tough collision again on that far side. Hayden Knight involved in it. Quick throw in, intercepted. Odier. In the air, won by the Bavarian side. It was behind Stebbins, and he got his hand to it, a handball called. One thing about age and experience, we talked before about Odier, he has not extended himself. He has not gone forward in this half. He's really played with his mind. Definitely not his legs, because the legs aren't there like they used to be. Here's Zavala. Zavala, near side. Try to get the give and go, and does, right across, but that ball took forever to get there. And now it's cleared out. Right now, the Greek Americans are close to getting a national championship. And again, at any level, this is a big deal. It's really a trophy. I'm not even sure if there's any money. I don't believe there's any money that's involved in it, but even if there was, it wouldn't be money. Kardzer just battled for the trophy right there. Right now, besides winning, certainly nobody wants to get hurt. You want to be able to carry that trophy out.
That's right, JP. We've seen some good battles here right down to the end.
This will be the 3rd straight California triumph. That's not necessarily a message, sorry California fans, not necessarily a message that that's the best area in the country for soccer. It's definitely one of them. But it does say that over the last 3 years, the best team has emerged from that West Coast area. Down the left side.
Come on, boy.
This one is headed for the end line. Oh, Delaray did a great job to keep it in.
Come on, shut it down.
Besides the 2 goals, still working hard this end. McNevin clearing it the other way. Martin with a high foot, not penalized for it. Just seconds left, certainly in regulation time anyway. Maybe some injury time put on McBride. That seemed more like frustration. Stebbins had no chance to win that ball. Free kick coming up. I think there's so much parity now and so many great players that we're seeing in this country that it's hard to say. Certainly it's arguable where the best soccer is, women or men.
About 5 years ago, there, especially for the women, there were a lot of pockets, hotbeds, but the talent is really coming from everywhere now.
Good sign. We're in injury time right now as Stebbins goes after it. McBride bothered there. Tough collision. Klopp slow to get up.
Coming up on top, Danny. Danny!
And now up and okay. There's the throw in for Hayden Knight. Knight looking for space. Back for Alioto. 3-0 Greek Americans. Looking for just the final whistle as it goes to Knight. Pulls the keeper out. Has no help though, and it's tackled away. Odier may have saved the shutout because just now Kardzer makes it back in a goal.
Gansler served a great ball through there to find Knight.
Someone get on the back post.
Someone get on the back post. You can hear it as Zabalo played it across, and Semioli clears it. I'm looking to see if the referee has glanced at the watch, and if he has, it was when I wasn't looking his way. No, he knew what time it was. That's it. The game is over, and for the third straight year, a California team has won it. The Greek Americans have won it by a score of 3-0, and you've got to say on this day, Wendy Gebauer, the best team over 90 minutes did win.
Oh, they certainly did. That was a great showing by the Greek Americans. First half, they weren't very lucky with their goal-scoring opportunities, but in the second half, they put them away.
Delray was the goal-scoring hero with a pair. We'll talk about it when we come back to Oakford, Pennsylvania. Final score, 3-0. The Greek Americans are the champions of the Open Cup Final.
Still going. Nothing outlasts the Energizer battery. It keeps going and going.
For 1 month every 4 years, soccer is not just a game. It's the World Cup. Brought to you by Budweiser, official beer of World Cup '94.
There's a whole range of things that can go wrong in golf. Slices, hooks, curves.
The club would hit the ground and it wouldn't even hit the ball.
I used to hit the ball with a horrendous slice.
I needed some help, and Golf Digest gave me the help that I needed.
Golf Digest and the 8 Ways to a Better Golf Game video will help you improve your golf game. If it doesn't, cancel the subscription and keep the video free.
Reading Golf Digest helped me get rid of my fade.
I can drive the ball greater distances.
Golf Digest took me from a 15 handicap to a 6 handicap.
Golfers everywhere have actually improved their game by reading Golf Digest and watching the video. They know a subscription to Golf Digest is a must for anyone who wants to be a better golfer.
It really helped me to understand the techniques and the skills of the game.
I think it has articles that will help everybody.
So call 800-522-5333. If your game doesn't improve, we'll send you the video and a year subscription for free. We guarantee it.
There is no way you cannot improve your golf game.
The only thing you lose out of this deal is a few strokes.
Welcome back, everyone, to Oakford, Pennsylvania, the site of the U.S. Open Cup Final. The champions are the Greek Americans. They won it by a score of 3-0 against the Bavarian Soccer Club. And joining us, the head coach, the winning coach, Lothar Osiander, and to his right, Michael Delray, who scored 2 goals in the win. And, Coach, the first thing I have to ask you, during the first half, your team was dominating, yet it was 0-0. Was there any worries at that point? Usually teams get worried when they don't have a reward after getting that many chances.
Well, the players weren't worried. I was. As usual, we seem to loosen up better in the second half. That's been our trait all year long. And we sort of straightened some of the things out at the halftime, and we were confident that we could come out and win this game.
Let's get a player's point of view. Michael, total team effort for you guys, especially strong in the air.
Yeah, Timmy was great. Timmy put 2 perfect balls for me, made my job easy. Derek Van Reenen coming through. He was strong in the air. He got the first goal. We were solid up and back. Paul Bravo, he's our playmaker. Those guys kept us solid.
Congratulations to Michael Delray and the head coach Lothar Osiander. The Greek Americans are the champions for the second time this decade in the U.S. Open Cup Final. Wendy and I will wrap it up when we come back to Oakford, Pennsylvania.
So, does it ever get any easier?
I don't think it's supposed to. It's a sophisticated flight simulator. But around here, we call it the box. Even though it doesn't fly, it's sure going to test how well you can. At American, we come here twice a year to get checked out. You know, I don't know of another airline that puts more emphasis on training.
See you in 6 months.
Oh, I'll be back. But if you happen to be sitting behind me,
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
I bet you'll agree.
Welcome you aboard American Airlines.
It's worth it.
Our flight this morning should be a smooth one.
When I became my own boss, I also became my own employee. So now he tells me to make coffee, open the mail, make sure the copier's working. So I checked around and people said get a Canon personal copier. Canon has a unique single cartridge that contains the toner, developer, drum, and virtually all the moving parts. Change the cartridge, and it's like getting a new copier. Buying it was such a good idea, I took him to lunch.
Canon personal copiers. Call 1-800-4321-HOP.
Are you colder than I am? How is that?
I'm gonna wait on
It's a
you.
hot melt in here. Heads up, look out!
Wait a minute. Can you see anything yet?
Just a second, settle down. He's opening the refrigerator.
Trust
me, it's not a store brand. I can't see through you.
Would you move over, please? Wait a minute. It's...
You see? Go!
20 ounces, you guys! Definitely seconds!
This is an effort to reach men and women who served in the United States Armed Forces. It concerns an offer for honorably discharged veterans and their spouses ages 50 to 75. Please use the toll-free number to respond. Call now for free information on life insurance plans that cost just $1 a week. When you qualify, you lock in the highest possible benefit amount available to you. And these life insurance benefits are guaranteed never to go down. You are eligible to apply if you served during peacetime or war, active duty or reserves, or any service branch. You are also eligible to apply if you are the spouse or widow of a veteran. Call now. Remember, only veterans, their spouses, and widows age 50 to 75 qualify for this exclusive offer. Term life insurance for just $1 a week. Don't wait. Call this toll-free number now to get free information from Veterans Life Insurance Company. Operators are standing by to take your call.
Welcome back, everyone, to the U.S. Open Cup Final here on Prime. We've just finished up a shutout performance by the Greek Americans who win it over the Bavarian Soccer Club of Milwaukee by a final score of 3-0. Great effort, great team effort by many of these players, but an even bigger performance by that man, number 13, Michael Delaray, named the game's MVP. He scored twice, and you'll see Michael in action as we switch off and go to highlights.
And here we see on the first goal, we have a corner kick. Ball is lofted into the box. And Derek Van Reenen gets a good header on it. Brings it right down, right at the keeper. Marshall makes a good save, but unfortunately it goes off the, looks like off the head of a defender. Makes it 1-0. Here's the second goal we see here, and Martin has an absolutely brilliant cross, bending it away from the keeper. The keeper's in no man's land. Headed down by Michael Del Rey. And here we see the replay for the third goal. Bravo's got the ball. Great no call by the official. Martin comes in again. Great composure. Looks through. Sees Michael Del Rey and threads it through to him, and Del Rey again finishes.
A two-goal performance by Delaray. The team itself scored twice within a 4-minute span in the second half to not only open the door, but bar it shut from the Bavarian Soccer Club's attempt at coming back. Your final score, 3-0. The Greek Americans defeat the Bavarian Soccer Club of Milwaukee. For Wendy Gebauer, I'm John Paul Della Camera. Thanks to all who helped us on this telecast. On behalf of Prime Network, as we say so long from Oakford, Pennsylvania, congratulating the Open Cup final champions, the Greek Americans. Today's commercial-free action was made possible in part by Budweiser, fresh, pure, and natural, proud to be your bud. By Snickers, packed with peanuts, Snickers really satisfies. By Adidas, and Adidas soccer isn't coming to America, it's already here. And by American Airlines. American flies to over 330 destinations in 45 countries, including Japan, Europe, Latin America, and the Caribbean. American Airlines, something special in the air.
To stop a friend from drinking and driving, try explaining things.
Why drop me off and pick me up when I can drop you off, shop, and be back in time to pick you up? All right.
Take the keys, call a cab, take a stand. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
The world.
Alan Warren Outdoors presents Car Quest.